Welcome to Dragonfly Trading. My name is Carrie, and I'm a full-time Elliott Wave trader in the crypto and Forex markets. Before we get started, I have added a plan to my Discord for those of you that are just interested in live recorded TA every day. If you want to know what the market is doing on a daily basis, and also access to my TA channel that is updated throughout the day and sometimes night because I'm up a lot. It comes out to $1 a day, guys. So take advantage of it. The description's in the link. The link is in the description below. So today's video is going to be an update on Bitcoin, the SP 500, and we're going to take a look at the DXY. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to do something a little different today. Sometimes when you're looking at something every day the same way, you kind of get tunnel vision. So this is the Bitcoin chart, and I've inverted it. And at first glance, when I looked at this, with no bias, just first glance, I wanted to say that this was a third wave, that this was a fourth wave, and that this was a truncated fifth, first glance. I pulled a fib extension on it to make sure it came 70%, because a fifth truncation, which that was what this would be, has to do 70% of the wave 4. Further looking, I see a 3-wave move for a fourth. And then at first glance, this looks like a 5th wave. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, well, this was the run from 3K to 69,000. Yes, but this was from $300 to 20,000. It looks possible. So you dig in more, and I see a wave 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. That would be our third wave. And then I see a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, which would be the fifth of the fifth. Is it possible? Guys, it could be. And then just first glancing at this little move here, without any bias at all, it looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2 to me. So what I'm saying is this how it went? I don't know. I don't know. But at first glance, I would be thinking to myself, well, we are about to go bullishly to the upside here. And this is a 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So let's turn it around now. And long scale. Well, turn it around, Carrie. There we go. All right, so can we have a third wave here? A fourth wave and a fifth? I never even honestly thought about it that way until now. Could this be a fifth instead of a 1? Could this all be a fourth? And can this be all, this whole run, be the fifth wave of this big third? Could be. Could be. We need to not get tunnel vision in any direction and say that this is the only way it can be, because if anyone says that they know 100% sure that this is the way it is, you know, that's just not the right thing to do. And also, when you pull a fib extension from your third to the potential fourth, a fifth wave will hit the 618, and we hit 69,149 is what this is coming in at. You know, that's awfully close. So is this the end? Is this a 1, 2, 1, 2? I don't know for sure, but it's a different way to look at it. And we need to be aware that it's possible. It is possible. Okay. All right. So what counts do we have left? Well, last video I talked about the bull count, where this was a potential start of something. This was a pullback for wave 2. This wave to the upside failed to make a 5-wave move. Because of that, I feel, and this is just me, that this is no longer possible. Now, it is not invalid until we break this 29K low. It's not invalid till we do that, but I feel that it's probably off the table. Next is the triangle. Triangle's still on the table. If it's going to happen, we need to come up here to the 786 at 58,950. Can we do it? We can. This started off in 3 waves. It's pulled back so far in 3 waves. It can just climb right on up there in a WXY. I would like to see it hold this channeling in this direction. Now, if we were to come a little deeper or make some kind of deeper 3-wave, the channel could be adjusted slightly, but I'd really like to see it hold this if it's going to do it. Possible ending diagonal. 3 waves for 1, 3 waves for 2, zigzag for 3, 3 waves for 4. Now we need 3 waves to the downside. It cannot be 5. It has to be 3. For this to be an ending diagonal, possibly coming into this 1-to-1 here, and log linear changes it, but basically we have the chance of not breaking this low here at 29K. But we need to come down in 3, and we need to come to at least 35,470 on log and 35,800 on linear, because it has to do, the 5th wave has to do 70% of the 4. But most likely, it will come on down here and hit this 1-to-1. Now, this is assuming it's an ending diagonal, but there's always a twist, and there's always a bear. And the bear is that we can turn this diagonal into an A, pop up for B, come down for C. That would turn this whole thing into a WXY. Or it can get even uglier, and we would turn it into a 1. We would pop up for 2, come down for 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is possible. We'll have to see what happens if we make the diagonal and bounce. And nothing is going to work here and get us out of here but a 5-wave move. Has to be a 5-wave move, nothing else. WXY. It's assuming we made a zigzag for W, that we've made 3 waves for X. Well, let me get my X here. I'll just delete that. That we've made 3 waves for X that is done, or it's going to try and get bigger. And how does it do that? It would use the 3 waves that we've made, use this 3 waves, and it would try to push up higher for a higher X. Okay, or B. It can be A, B, C too. Or it is done and we're coming down now for a Y. And it can only do it in 3 waves because we did not come high enough up to the 618. We would have to come up to the 618 to be able to come down in 5. So it would definitely have to come down in 3. All right, let's move down and let's talk about what's going on here. All right, what can we do here? Well, same thing as last week, or last video, I'm sorry, last week. I talked about how we could come down in 3 waves and make a B and try to push up for a C, which we would have had to have hit the 618, and I didn't check that, and we haven't hit it. So, ABC, it's got to come lower. If it's not going to come any lower, we're going to push up in a Y. And this is how it starts off for the climb for the triangle. Okay, now several things have to happen in here, and we'll talk about it. But this is a potential move. Now, I don't usually go down this low, but I am for this video, so that you can really see what is going on and what needs to happen, okay? So, for this to make ABC, we're going to have to hold the 618, where we assume that this is a leading diagonal or a 3-wave move, 3-wave up, and now we're coming down for C. I will allow one more rollover for the C because I can bring this 5th on down and assume that it gets a little overextended. Okay? But I don't have another 1 wave up in this area to account for another 4th wave and another 5th to the downside. So because of that, if we get to the 1.618 and we shuffle into another 4th and we come down for a 5th, I'm going to have to use this potential leading diagonal, which means that this would start off with 1, 2, all of this would be 3, this would be 4, and this would be 5. Meaning that we're making a 5-wave move instead of an ABC. And I know this may seem a little complicated, but that's basically the easiest way is when we get down here, we've got to move to the upside in a 5-wave move. If we shuffle sideways and we come down to the 2.236 at 36,300, then I'm going to be looking at this as a 5-wave move. Okay. And if that's the case, and we make a 5-wave move here, what starts with 5 ends with 5. And it means that we will either turn it into an A, a B, and a C, or we're about to come deep. Let me get out to the daily here. So this would be that 5th wave we need for the ending diagonal. Okay, the ABC. But if we turn it into a 1, then that means we're coming deep with some type of 5-wave move here. Okay. All right. So that is Bitcoin. Okay. Let's move to the SP 500. Okay, what's happening? Well, right now, in this move, I see 3 to the downside, 3 to the upside, 5 to the downside. It's a flat. Right now, I see 3 to the upside. Which means we have two things that can happen. Either this is all we're going to get, is this 3 waves, and it's going to use this 3 attached to this 3 and down. Okay? It needs a partner. Or, just like I talk about in Bitcoin, it's going to, what it needs to do is use this 3 and make a bigger wave to the upside. The higher the B, the better. Because what it does is it gives the market a chance to make a bullish correction where this leg is short and it makes a running flat. This is what this market needs to do, is kick to the upside and make a high B. If it doesn't, and this is all we're going to get, then this is going to potentially come deep. And then at that point, the market has to take off in 5 waves. If it doesn't, and it just takes off in 3, then we need a partner for this entire structure to the downside, and this gets ugly. Now, I did an entire analysis on the SP 500 several videos back, so I would take a look at that, and it is actually linked in the description below, so take a look. Now, on the lower time frame here, this looks like a potential leading diagonal. If we do not break this high right here, then that means that this is the start of something to the downside, where probably this is all we're going to get, and here comes our partner leg for it, okay? All right, let's take a look at the DXY. Now I am up on a very high time frame on the monthly. I see an A, a B, and a C, which is a 3-wave move. Then we have a zigzag here in the middle, which this is what I call a connector. We have 2 things that can happen here. We either make a smaller connector that is going to connect to this one, where we would use this 3, whatever connector it makes here, and then 3 to the downside. And I made that a little too big there. Okay? Which means it makes the middle bigger. Or it's going to use these 3 here, this connector, and the partner leg to the upside. If the DXY decides to do this, it will wreck Bitcoin. It will not be good for Bitcoin if this is what it decides to do. We really need this smaller connector here to connect this one bigger. Right? Let's go and look on the lower time frame and see what's going on. Okay, so the DXY has the potential here to make a 5-wave move. We need to break out of this deceleration channel. If you didn't watch my channeling video last week, keep saying last week. If you didn't watch my Kennedy channel video that I made, it's a good one. I suggest you watch it. We need to break out of this channel for the 5th. If we make a 5-wave move, we know what that means. That either means A, B, C, which would mean we're probably going to make a connector for this, or it means we're on our way to making that partner leg that we do not want. The DXY moves to the upside like this, Bitcoin is just going to crash. So I would pay attention to the DXY. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it gave you some clarity, or at least some things to think about. Okay. And think about my new plan. I hope you join us, and I will see you in the next one.